Survivor is going above and beyond to show just how true that is. She left her violent partner, struggled to keep a roof over her children's heads and relied on charity for family meals. Now she's turning the tables by hatching her own plan to help people in need. Monique Shafter reports.
It's a Thursday morning in southwest Sydney, and mother of three, Paula Zrillik, is about to do one hell of a grocery shop.
Where are you going? We're here to pick up the order.
Okay, well there's your best.
Thank you.
Paula is preparing to launch a food distribution hub called Our Community Pantry that will help people struggling to put food on the table in her local area. The food is provided by Food Bank, Australia's largest food charity, which last year provided over 60 million meals across Australia.
Green beans,
Great.
some pickling onions, which is great. That just fills out what you need.
Excellent. Thank you, Jerry.
Where does all the food come from?
Look, the Australian Food and Grocery Council, all the major retailers supply food, plus a whole lot of farmers, their packing sheds. Paula gets food from us, and then she delivers that to Our Community Pantry and delivers it to the local communities.
Paula's project is inspired by her own experience.
Over 2 years ago now, I left a marriage that was, may have seemed the perfect marriage on the outside, but I lived with a lot of domestic violence that I told no one about. There was nights where I had to literally lay in the grass hiding from him. There was nights where I was locked out of my house in my pyjamas with nowhere to go. What am I going to do? There was many nights where literally you would think the only way I can get out of this, no one's going to believe me, is literally to take my own life.
And how long were you stuck in that situation?
A long time. I was married for 20 years.
The thought of not being able to support her kids made it almost impossible for Paula to leave.
I knew the bank account was in his name. He'd taken bank cards, he'd taken phones off me, he'd taken the keys, the spark plugs out of the car. So yeah, your control, people don't understand. The last thing I wanted was for my kids to feel like they were poor. I just remember how bad that was as a parent, to not be able to put food on the table, to be ashamed to ask for help.
But the support of Food Bank allowed her to pay rent and bills and keep a roof over her kids' heads.
And I will never, as a mum, never ever forget sitting in the car crying because there was rice bubbles and there was a packet of chips so I could make chocolate crackles and have a few friends over for my daughter, and it was her birthday.
Now Paula is helping people in her local community take financial control over their lives.
Gave people a feeling of choice, dignity, and that they could actually start rebuilding their lives.
Alright, Zoe, let's start putting magnets and other things.
Today is the official launch of Paula's Pantry, and her daughters are here to help.
I don't know where this goes.
Everyone here is volunteers, they're not being paid to be here, but they are willing to be here out of their own time. Just shows how amazing her work is.
She's come from a really emotionally traumatic background and relationship, and the fact that she's overcome that and built up a whole, pantry from the ground up is just incredible.
A long queue has formed outside the building.
It's all crowded, the streets are all full.
No one used to come down this street. Now you can't get a car spot.
Well, we'll be opening in a couple of minutes. I'll be calling your numbers, and then you give your number to the lovely Diane, just sitting here at this table here. Okay, guys? Thank you.
Pantry is officially open.
Can I have number 1, number 2, number 3?
With your trolley. It's come through, Kim. Go have some.
Most of our families walk out with about, in a week they'll spend $30, and they're getting roughly what they would pick up in a grocery store for about $180, including fruit and veg.
The doors have been open for half an hour, and we've already got 80 people signing.
Number 56! You know how the system works, don't you, Diane?
Yes.
Awesome, excellent.
We've got to look after our community, because the thing is we can't have people starving, and a lot of people are starving. I've been with nothing in the fridge, nothing in the cupboard, and just living on black coffee.
Bananas?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Did you get any meals from the...
You have done
what I wanted to do,
You
and I
started
couldn't.
it.
No, but seriously, don't you're gonna make me cry. No, I'm proud of you.
You started it. Thank you, Bella.
Just crying.
So Paula, this is your baby. You have to.
I didn't think my story where I was 2.5 years ago, where I really thought I would struggle to see the next day in my life, that I would be standing here 2 years later helping other people because of what happened to me.
You sure you're right with that?
Yep, I'm right. Thank
Sure?
you. Yep.
No worries.
Just seeing people walking home with boxes of fruit and veg and smiles, you know, seeing kids holding bags of food, it's why we do it.
With the people that you meet now through your work, do you meet people who've had similar experiences to yourself?
See, unfortunately we do. We have women that come to us that they're in a car, they're displaced, there's nowhere for them to go. I have a lot of women that come to us with those sort of circumstances, absolutely. Unfortunately, yeah. People leave in tears, hugging each other. We see networks of people within the groups actually forming and helping each other through the circumstances that they've been through.
Yep.
To know that my work is helping others and seeing their stories, it is so cathartic. It's an amazing feeling.